It turned out that Vince and Manny both asked roughly the same question. I'm going to start with Vince and then Manny. Just last Saturday, there was a demonstration, or Sunday, against the use of Native Americans and symbols associated with Native Americans at the Vikings Kansas City game. So Vince, what aspect of Native American appropriation are you currently fixated on?
That is a great question. Very,
And I'm going to add a little bit.
worded.
What for you is the difference between appropriation and appreciation?
Well, appreciation is, oh, that looks nice. That's great for you guys. Not, I'm gonna put that on. That's the difference for me. That's, I can totally appreciate that culture from over here, and not have to, order a headdress from China, or, wear brown flannel and put weird fringe on it. All the stuff that we do in secret. Kidding, I'm kidding. Oh, man, it's gonna live forever now. I think for me right now, I think what I most think about is the foundations of our positive and negative stereotypes. Where did they come from? And so that's really what I'm looking at these days. Where are these things coming from, and what are they grounded in? Because for me, I am inundated with decapitated heads of Indian males every time I step out of the house. There is a subservient Indian butter maiden in every grocery store right now, So like this, my negative stereotypes are always there, and we are in the season of, wearing my skin, So like this right now is it's almost an anxiety, right? Because I moved to a new neighborhood and I'm like, man, I don't know nobody here. I hope no Indians come to the door on Halloween. So, these are the things that I think about. And so really what I'm pushing myself into are, the very base of it. Where are all of the children of our nation, what are they learning about Indians? And where are other things coming from? Where are these stereotypes coming from? And for me, all I have to do is put on a Disney movie, quite honestly. All I have to do is pick up a comic book. And, I make this specific analogy about comic books because Marvel Comics just came out with their all new, all different. But a part of that all new, all different was to bring back a Wild West character called Red Wolf. And Red Wolf looks like, the Washington Slurskins. He looks exactly like that. And their hustle about it is, no, Vince, he's different. We got an Indian guy to draw him, so he's different now. And I'm like, but there's a Korean Hulk right now. And there's a new Muslim superhero. That's all new. That's all different. Amadeus Cho is totally, mirrors Bruce. I should shut up about that. But so listen, the thing is that I want my all new, all different as well. I don't want my same old, same old. I don't want you to, pull a, fakey Indian out of, your pantheon of fakey Indians, because quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I want some all new, all different, and that's what I'm looking to. Why are these things a constant? Why are these things a solid everywhere? How many times am I going to hear about a side argument that, we should really be having an Indian lady playing Tiger Lily? And I don't understand the idea of we should really be putting brown people in our stereotypes that we want to see. And I don't understand it. But there's this idea of us as an ending, right? There's a university, Winona State, as a matter of fact. Well, Winona is, that's made up. They made up an Indian. I can't get over this. From the very first time I took the stage to right now, I still can't wrap myself around a whole city going, let's just make one up. Let's just make one up. And if you go and they ask them about the history of it, it's just Hiawatha. It's just the, Minnehaha Hiawatha story. But it's ingrained in them, right? There's even a club right next to their, jail and judge's place. It's called the Red Men Club. And on campus, they have that, they have that stupid end of the trail sculpture, right? So even though that guy has nothing to do with any of the people in this region, there's this slumped over Indian man right in the center of Winona State University. And, I lived there for a year. It was it was an odd place. There's, they wear Confederate flag stuff, and they're just, it's deeply ingrained. And so that's what I've currently been, fixated on. Where are these from, and why are these? And why do these continue? Because, man, I can't get over the argument of blackface is bad, but red face is for the football game. I don't understand that. And so for my own work, that's really what I'm doing, right? I want to know the foundations of our positive and negative stereotypes because, man, I want to go hard on it, right? I want to respond to it because, quite frankly, I'm the all new, all different that we're ever going to get, right? And Rihanna is that, and all the writers that I've met with in the last 3.5 years. This is our all new and all different. And until we get to say what our characters are, we're your leather and feather stereotype. Until you devour us whole, right? Like Sherman Alexie says. But I digress.
So, Emmanuel, with the rising interest in indigenous and Latina art, culture, iconography, and or spirituality from outside indigenous and Latina communities, such as the rising popularity of the Day of the Dead and native jewelry, what are the risks and dangers of cultural appropriation and how do we combat it? And I'd also ask you, for you, the same difference between what's appropriation, what's appreciation.
Well, I think, as Vince said, appreciation is, hey, that's great for you, and appropriation is, hey, that's great for me. And I want what you have for some odd reason that I don't really understand. It's theft. Cultural appropriation is theft, and it's this creator-consumer dichotomy in which I don't think we're always aware that we live. And it happens, it's alarming how much it happens, and I think it happens by individuals and institutions, and by individuals and institutions who I think mean well. However, impact really trumps intent. I guess basically if you are a consumer of something that you don't have an organic relationship historically, individually, culturally, etc., and you come from a position of privilege where your culture, your race, your history, your gender is privileged and dominant, then that's, you're looking at cultural appropriation. Specific to, I think, Latinos, the reference to Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead has become a very popular holiday, both amongst Latinos as well as non-Latinos. And we see it celebrated so often now, I think, in art circles. And Day of the Dead really is it is a worldview. It's a spiritual practice that preceded European invaders in Mesoamerica. It was something that indigenous people practiced, and the painting of the skeletal designs, the artistically created skeletal designs, was an indigenous practice. So for me, when I see, for example, when I see white folks painting the skeletons on their face, it's, as Vince said, it's akin to blackface. I don't think most people in this room would put on war paint, what they see as war paint stereotypically, and go to a Halloween costume party. I mean, maybe some people would. It happens. They sell them in stores, but hopefully people in this room would not. But I do think that people in this room would think that they're showing their affinity or their solidarity or something with Latino people by partaking in this cultural activity, which is a spiritual activity, which is an indigenous practice, which is hundreds and hundreds of years old, and is more than just the music that folks dance to and the tamales that they eat and all of these kinds of things. So I think that a lot of what I see as cultural appropriation really flies under the radar, and people aren't aware that they're doing it. I think that if you're wanting to learn more about a people's culture, if you're wanting to appreciate a people's culture, you can do that grounded in your own worldview and your own culture. And you can do that by amplifying the voices of people of those cultures without trying to take credit or put yourself in a limelight in doing so. I mean, you know, that's just speaking from a Latino perspective around one issue. You know, it's the music, the food. You know, they love everything but us. You know, and then sometimes they love us a little too much. You know, and you know, that I don't understand that fascination. I really don't. I think a lot of times what happens is folks feel like they don't connect with their own. They don't know. I remember doing a class in St. Cloud at St. Cloud State one time, and this young woman, a student, a white woman, said that she was envious of us because we have a culture, as if she doesn't have a culture. That somehow she has been deprived or robbed, or it never existed, you know. And I remember a line from a song by a punk band called Propaganda, which they said, what is white culture anyway? Is it hockey games and sitcoms? You know, that's what's been lost. And I feel bad for people who have lost that, but it's not my responsibility to try to give you something to replace that. You know, find your own culture. I guess that's the bottom line. So,
thanks.